Day 8 of frozen tundra in Texas. Although today I believe it will melt. I'm actually up really early, 5:33 a.m. to get ready to go to work. Not that I can really shower, so I'm about 8 days of stench today. Looking at me, yeah. Looked like I've slept under a bridge last night. I'm glad I didn't, and sorry for the people that do have to do that. No laughing matter. But yes, this is Eureka John at Eureka Street Crypto Hub, and coming at you live at 5:34 a.m. from Leander, Texas, and gonna make the commute down to work today. Finally have enough customers pissed off about their late orders that I really need to go down there and try to get some things done here. So episode 54, and I'm just putting in that it's live on the Theta stream just so people know. Anyway, yes, so it has been an interesting week once again in crypto. Got my banana and my sports drink. All right, you get the day started, right? Okay. All right, so we have Bitcoin at $52,805.56. I always have such a hard time saying those long numbers like that. Anyway, that's pretty rad. Let's see if it hit some kind of higher high than that last night while I was asleep. All-time high is 53,000, so it did hit 53,000. $53,000 and $53,194.82. Okay, and yes, let's get back to the home page. Let's see where Ethereum is at, and let's see. We have Ethereum at $1,928. I think, well, yesterday I thought it was going to hit 2,000, and it never. Well, I don't know. Did it hit 2,000 overnight? Let's see. All-time high, $1,952.14. So it has not touched 2,000 yet. I think that'll happen today. I thought it would happen yesterday, but it didn't. Binance Coin, number 3 spot now. It's just been exploding, and I think that is the popularity of the Binance Smart Chain and the whole DEX pancake swap associated with it. Both of them have been doing tremendously well. They work very well. They're very fast. They're very cheap. And so, hey, man, hats off to the Binance crew for creating something that's working and working well and working economically. So, yeah, I just wish that Binance would incorporate Texas residents as legally able to use their main platform, and United States residents for the main one and Texas residents for the US one, but apparently that's not the case. Then Tether fourth, whatever. Tether's stablecoin. I wonder what's going to happen with Tether this year. Are they going to ever totally, completely, fully audit Tether and try to see if they make them completely accountable for every single dollar that they transfer into a coin? Because apparently Tether is supposed to have the same amount of dollars as the coins that it has issued. And let's see here. Trading volume of 109. Is that billion? 109 billion? Am I seeing that right? Wow. So they got a market cap of $33,603,335,484. That is huge, and if they have all the dollars to completely account for that, then great. But they've just been minting more and more of those Tether dollars. And people have been trading in and out of crypto. For new people, the purpose of a stable coin versus a regular cryptocurrency is you want a stable coin on hand so you can easily trade back and forth from something equaling $1 to your cryptocurrency or from your cryptocurrency, so you don't have to go through the whole long process of waiting for your bank to respawn, and usually that can take like 2 days up to a week or sometimes 14 days to get things all transferred and cleared and settled back to your bank. So that can be a really cumbersome process. Hence the stable coin like Tether, and then down here we have the USD coin, USDC. There's several others. There's a lot of them. DAI is a stable coin. It's a decentralized stable coin. And I did an episode several weeks back on kind of the future of stable coins based around a particular article. And it was really fascinating to learn about the various transitions that that article thinks will happen with the stable coins. But that's for another day. Polkadot is up at number 5. Polkadot and Cardano, button heads competing right back and forth. Cardano, I don't think has hit $1 yet. I think it's right there. It is $1.18. It did hit it. Oh, that was January 4th, 2018. So no, it hasn't hit $1 again since 2018. So a lot of good things are happening in Cardano. Hopefully they can get that freight train of a project actually with some major velocity behind it and get things going. I know a lot of people are heavily panting over that. Polkadot has just been making strides as well, and they're coming out with some major innovations. So it'll be interesting to see which one out of both of these jockeying for position will make it above the other. XRPs, that's its own deal. Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash seem to be kind of competing because they both seem to be competing for the kind of the same objective. And then you got Chainlink stuck right in between here, trying to move up the ladder. I'm a heavy believer in Chainlink, heavily invested in Chainlink, and I think Chainlink is kind of the backbone to most DeFi projects, and it has a huge future ahead of it. So. So that's the basic top 10 of the market. I won't go down into the weeds. I do want to take a quick look at Theta because I always do. Theta Networks at 356, doing very happy about that. Oh, and then Voyager token, VGX. If you aren't familiar with Voyager, it's not really a centralized exchange, but it is an aggregator, kind of like hotels.com or expedia.com. It'll help you find the cheapest price. It's a really good entry tool from your dollars to crypto. You can't really swap back and forth with it, which sucks. You kind of have to, whenever you want to trade a token, you have to sell it off back to dollars and then buy back whatever you want from dollars. So that kind of sucks, but the good thing about it is Voyager does make it instant, and they take the credit on it. So whenever you do put money into Voyager, like I put $100 in there, it'll become instantly available for you to be able to buy the crypto with, and you're not waiting several days or even a week sometimes, like some of these other apps. So that's the really good thing about Voyager. I did sell my initial investment in Voyager tokens yesterday, and I put that into Bitcoin and put it aside. So I'm running 100% purely on profits for my Voyager token, and that makes me feel great, because I bought in pretty early, so I didn't really have to sell a lot of my Voyager tokens. And then I sold off my initial investment, put it into Bitcoin, put it aside, and then now I'm running purely on profits on a good chunk of Voyager tokens because I let my original investment escalate in value. And I bought in at an average of $1.40. Some I bought in about 80 cents. Others I bought in for more than that, around maybe $1.80 something. Some I even believe $2, but it averaged out to $1.49. And so I took that initial investment and pulled that out, and then now I'm riding on profits at $4.85, and I'm super stoked about that, and let's see where that goes. So that's kind of the way I think you should do it. I'm not a financial advisor. Don't listen to how I do things. I'm just doing things with the way I feel comfortable, and how I feel comfortable is putting in something, trying to get in early, letting it rise, pulling out my initial investment, and then working from profits from there on out. And then continue as well to kind of dollar cost average and find the average of that dollar cost average and mark that as your initial investment. And at some point, whenever you feel comfortable, like you've made some decent profits, you can pull out your initial investment. Then you'll just be riding on profits. So that's kind of how I try to work things. Everybody has their own tactics, and a lot of people follow the charts and TA and stuff. I would mind getting like some kind of TA program. I'm only on a limited time, and I'm the type of guy that tries to learn 10 things at once, and that's just one more thing. And I know I would just completely go down the rabbit hole with it. Anyway, let's look at some news. We have Bitcoin's next, this is very bullish by CNBC here. Bitcoin's next resistance level isn't until 170K. Quote unquote, the sky is the limit. Let me turn this off. All right. And some talking head there talking about Bitcoin on CNBC, which is good. Bitcoin's record-breaking rally rolls on. The cryptocurrency crossed above 52,000 on Wednesday for the first time ever, adding 46% rally over the month. So basically, blah, 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 blah. They're just talking about how great Bitcoin is on a public news network, which is really cool. I was actually listening on YouTube to George Gammon and the Rebel Capitalist, and love him or hate him for what he is. I think he makes some really great points, and he has taught me a lot about the economy and basics of economics as well, because I've never had no formal education in economics. I've had to crash course myself, and George Gammon is a really good one to listen to teach you some of those fundamentals. He had a really good point, and he talked about how Bitcoin could go to 100 or Bitcoin could go to 0, and he said both. I guess that's a safe way to say things, but he had a good point about people that are producers in the economy and who make stuff, and they're kind of the backbone of our current economy. Well, with stimulus checks and then the prices of assets like stocks and Bitcoin rising, then those people that were formerly producers, like myself, I have a job that I have to go to, but then what if I quit my job because I'm crypto rich? Then I stop being a producer and I'm become purely a speculator. And then so what happens if you have an entire economy based on people that don't work and are purely speculators, that are crypto rich, Bitcoin rich, even government stimulus rich? So he makes a really good point. Then when the majority of the economy starts shifting over to these people that are speculatively rich, and then the government really stops taking their focus on payroll taxes, and they start putting their focus on things like capital gains taxes and unrealized capital gains taxes. And he mentioned about the state of California at this point right now has made proposals to implement unrealized capital gains tax. If you don't know what that means, if you made $100,000 on Bitcoin this year and you have not cashed out your Bitcoin, the state of California would want to go ahead and tax you $50,000 on that $100,000 Bitcoin that you have not cashed out. So you would, in a sense, be forced to cash out your Bitcoin. Or say you have a house and your house is appreciated in value from January 1st to December 31st of this year, $100,000. Then you would owe $50,000 in unrealized capital gains on that house. And most of us don't have $50,000 just sitting around to give to the government. And so that would be terrible if something like that happened. So, just not trying to put a wet blanket on things, but just pay attention to what the authorities are doing, and also try to remain productive, even though you may one day be crypto rich very soon. I hope I am. But at the same time, I also want to still remain productive and try to give back to the economy and not just make my living purely on speculation. So these are some important points put forth by George Gammon. So let me see if I can find that YouTube video real quick. YouTube, George Gammon, Bitcoin to 0 or 100. So here it is. This is the George Gammon video. I would give it a listen. You know, like I said, regardless of what you think of George Gammon, I think he's all right. But whatever. I'm waiting for the rest of the page to load so you can see. It's a video that was put out 2 days ago. Is Bitcoin going to 1 million or zero? Answer will shock you. So it's a worthwhile listen. So take a look, and and then with some other bits of news, let's close that one out. I thought this was interesting. A lot of these news are just stuff that I'm sitting there laying at night in bed reading my Twitter feed, and then I see a news article pop up and I read it, and I basically read myself to sleep till my phone just like falls on my face. Probably not healthy, but that's what I do. Nvidia redesigns graphics cards to limit their use in Ethereum mining. Nvidia is also launching cryptocurrency mining processors specifically for Ethereum miners. So what the miners now, what these software graphics cards, because what's happening is people are driving up the cost of these graphics cards for gamers because miners are coming in and buying them all up. And gamers are pissed. You know, I would be, but I mean, I'm mining Ethereum right now with 2 Nvidia RTX 2060s. On my computer, and it's good. I mean, it gives me every couple of weeks, every week and a half, I get like 0.05 Ethereum, and right now 0.05 Ethereum is about $90 something. So that's $90 every 2 weeks, $180 a month, and it doesn't use a bunch of power. This is just on the computer that my family uses every day, so it's pretty much always on anyway. So, hey, I'll take it. But this NVIDIA RTX 3060 is a higher power graphics card, and a lot of people have been mining with it. But what they're implementing now in order to try to keep and to try to steer these Ethereum miners away from the graphics cards, they're trying to steer them towards these CMP crypto mining processors. Down here, it says it here, the technology giant still plans to serve Ethereum miners with the new cryptocurrency mining processor. Nvidia is offering a professional mining specific product that doesn't do graphics per the post. But what they're putting in some kind of governing device in here. If they sense that, if the graphics card senses that somebody is doing mining with the graphics card, it'll cut the hash power in half. So they basically implemented a governor in there. It says if it detects mining activity, RTX 3060 drivers will limit its hash rate by around 50%. So that kind of sucks for miners. And if for some reason somebody buys it purely for gaming, and if somebody's gaming and if it thinks that it's mining, that could also be another pain in the ass to deal with. So the technology giant still plans to serve Ethereum miners. Yeah, I already read that. So the Ethereum miners' strong demand for new GPUs has caused a shortage in supply, and gamers are not happy. So I think it's just the whole concept of innovation versus regulation, and they're constantly balancing each other out. And here you go, prime example of it right here. So that's that. And then we have Rachel Wolfson writing an article on Cointelegraph about enterprise blockchain today. While some fail, others show potential value. And this just talks about enterprise, basically corporations implementing blockchain and how it was a buzzword in 2017, and people were using it towards specific applications and departments and stuff like that. Like during our first year, we noticed that everyone was excited about blockchain, what it could do for certain business processes like supply chain management. What we have seen recently is that blockchain lagged on the expectations. And I think a lot of that is due to the infancy of the technology at the time, and it is developing and growing now. And then also at companies' inability at the time to understand blockchain, and still to this day a lot of people really don't know what it is, and they hear the word a lot, but they don't really understand what it is. And then the company's inability to be able to figure out how to implement that blockchain technology into their company and their current legacy systems. But it says here enterprise blockchain is not dead. But is this really the case for all enterprise blockchain companies? The pandemic has resulted in a shakeout of both startups and company internal projects. Some lost budget and funding, but others are thriving. I regularly speak with startups that continued to receive additional funding during 2020 and who've started taking 2021 calls from potential investors. I've seen double in size during 2020. So with DeFi and everything that's coming, and people are starting to see that potential, I think a lot of companies are coming back to the drawing board on blockchain. The blockchain startups are finding success regardless of the pandemic. And regardless of the pandemic, are situated within different industries, each catering to specific use cases. While these companies differ, Bennett explained that each one of them shares certain characteristics. First and foremost, Bennett pointed out these countries do not lead with blockchain, quote unquote, noting that enterprises in the whole have gotten over the buzzword hype and are more focused on solutions and outcomes. Having a clear proposition and benefits statement is essential. Some of these startups don't even mention that they have a blockchain element in their stack during the sales process unless they're asked specifically. So that's good. Now they're leaving the whole buzzword out of it, and they're just trying to focus on solutions rather than technology, because a couple of years ago, everybody wanted the blockchain, then they're kind of like, oh yeah, blockchain. Now, what does it do? So they're trying to move beyond just blockchain for the supply chain. So let's see here. Bennett believes that successful companies today typically offer solutions where blockchain is only one essential part of a deeper and wider stack. Other technologies such as AI or data analytics are also needed to deliver the full value proposition. Enterprises are not yet ready to adopt a pure blockchain-based solution due to lack of proven value and complexity of the technology. And then Bennett explained that companies interested in blockchain solutions already understand what enterprise grade means in terms of scale, security, maintenance, etc. In addition, these companies are aware of the regulatory mandates and industry-specific requirements of their prospective customers. Clearly, product fit is a crucial element for blockchain companies to be successful. Unfortunately, Fedchenkov remarked that Insular was spread thin from the start as the company attempted to pursue multiple markets, supply chain, financial services, energy, etc. simultaneously. Even saying I'm focused on supply chain isn't enough. You have to be more specific. That was our mistake because we wanted to cover the entire market. So what I see is a lot of people were super stoked about the new blockchain technology, and then they just kind of wanted to apply it to everybody, just like Oprah. He's got 20,000 for you, 20,000 for you, 20,000 for you. Look under your seat. Blockchain for everybody. No, it's not the case. Okay, you got to kind of move it in slowly. You got to make it to where people don't even realize they're using blockchain. So yeah, that's that. So, but that moves on to, hold on, I'll get to this in a second. It moves on to me thinking about, let's see here, Unibright. Unibright has been bringing in this whole idea of free equity in the context of the Baseline protocol. Baseline is a set of standards for privacy on the blockchain and for tokenization of assets. And free equity brings DeFi to corporations. Unibright provides a graphical user interface for companies to be able to implement blockchain technology into their current legacy systems using no-code graphical user interface type of format. I've talked about it quite a bit in my previous episodes, and I'm a big investor in Unibright as much as I'm able to, which is small in comparison. But it was one of the first tokens that I really 100% dove into, and they're kind of like I've explained as the WordPress of blockchain. No code allows anybody with just some computer experience to drag and drop blockchain assets into their current system. So a company won't have to hire some specialized blockchain programmer or Solidity programmer or whatever. But what this DeFi through the free equity and Baseline bring in is tokenization and factor of their invoices. So companies who factor their invoices basically sell their invoices to another company in order to gain liquid cash to be able to operate, because a lot of larger companies go out beyond net 30 for payment. They go to net 60, net 90, net 120 days. And what that happens is that creates a choking mechanism in which a lot of smaller businesses need cash to operate. what factoring your invoices does is it injects cash in, although you do have to pay some kind of interest fee to the cash provider for the company that buys your invoices. Well, instead of selling off your invoices, what free equity does in Baseline allows you to tokenize your invoices and to lock them up in a DeFi format and borrow against your invoices. Because that's kind of what DeFi does. It allows you to lock up your crypto assets and borrow against them so you can have liquid cash. It looks like they're partnering with Hedera Hashgraph and the Hedera Token Service. I'm going to be doing my next specialized video and project focused video on Hedera Hashgraph. Not that I'm invested in Hedera Hashgraph or interested in investing in them, but it's a different type of blockchain altogether. It's not even a blockchain. It's a distributed ledger technology based on a different type of technology other than blockchain. So I find that interesting. It's very big and corporate focused and way over my head or anything that I would ever use or do. But I still find it interesting, and I see this term being thrown around, and I see Unibright partnering with the Hedera Token Service and Hedera Hashgraph right here in order to be able to implement the tokenization of the invoices through free equity and other assets. So I do find it worthwhile to review. I saw requests for people wanting me to review the graph and other projects as well, but right now I think Hedera Hashgraph, in light of Unibright and Baseline, is probably the most relevant one for me to review right now. So yeah, and Unibright integrates Hedera Token Service to scale asset tokenization. So yeah, basically it's got to not just serve one or two customers, it has to serve the globe. And Hedera Token Service has a huge network of, I think they have 39 validators, or 36 or 39 validators that they rotate through service terms. And to be a validator, just like the Energy Web Token, you have to be some kind of huge corporation. It is it's not fully open source. It's an open network and open code, but they do keep the source code for everything completely under lockdown and private. So it's kind of an open protocol that's also privately owned. I'll explain it in my more in-depth video that covers Hedera Hashgraph, but just know that it is not decentralized in the same way that a lot of these other DeFi projects are. Although Unibright is decentralized, so let's separate those two. But the Unibright, the Enterprise Blockchain Business Integrator, will integrate its Unibright free equity platform with the Hedera Token Service to scale asset tokenization and decentralized finance activities for enterprise adoption. Unibright can now offer a fully integrated market infrastructure to all token issuers and enterprises, leveraging HTS as well. Unibright free equity is a blockchain agnostic, meaning it doesn't care what blockchain it works on. It can work on anything, low code or no code DeFi platform, and bundles issuance, regulatory compliant tools, and guaranteed liquidity, meaning cash ready, cash on hand, to provide a full 360 degrees market integration. Unibright Hedera Token Service integration will help bootstrap liquidity for token issuers while providing the regulatory and compliance solutions market participants need to effectively engage in the tokenization process. So this is huge. You can read more about it here. I'll put a link to the article in the YouTube summary description so you can read for yourself. But I'm just touching on the highlights. This is big, and the tokenization, the transaction speed supposedly for Hedera can get up to 10,000. Guy at Coin Bureau gives a scathing critique of Hedera. He definitely does not seem to like Hedera Hashgraph at all. But in fairness, he does bring up some interesting points about the advertised transaction speed versus the reality of it. However, it does seem to be economic, and it seems to be fast, and so it'll be interesting to see tokenization of things. If you don't know, I think everything in the future is going towards tokenization, towards this World Economic Forum goal of a shared economy. Whether or not you think that's bad or good is not the point here, but what they're trying to push for is tokenization of everything, to where everybody owns a piece of everything and nobody centrally owns anything, and we will be happy. Yeah. Go to the World Economic Forum, look at all their mission statements and everything that they're proposing, and all this fits right into it. And tokenization of invoices and of companies and of real estate and of our tokenization of my banana, whatever. Everything is going to be tokenized in the future, and we are all going to be partial owners of everything. Right? Okay. So last topic. Let me close this stuff out. Okay, so close that out. Okay, DeFi aggregator growth set to dwarf 2020's volume. All right, DeFi made its big introduction in 2020 in July, specifically. You had a ton of DeFi projects pop up, like Aave, Yearn Finance, Sushi Swap, etc., Compound, and some of these were around before that, but they really made their introduction then. And then you have, but Ethereum got loaded up and transactions became really expensive. There's been some hacks and exploits in the DeFi protocols, and a lot of people have lost a lot of money, and et cetera, but there are some really good ones still out there. Aave, I believe, is one of the best ones. The Uniswap is a decentralized exchange. This is part of DeFi, and I sold off my Hex yesterday. Let me just turn that back over to Ether. And I bought some Ocean. But Uniswap is a decentralized exchange. There's no centralized entity or order book for somebody to keep. Everything is done automatically through protocols on Uniswap, and it is what it is. People provide liquidity to it, and they earn transactions by providing their tokens as a source of cash or token cash liquidity on here. So that's how decentralized exchanges work. The problem is decentralized exchanges have gotten pretty expensive, but people still want to use them, and so that people have invented aggregators that compare the pricing of all these decentralized exchanges, like 1inch Exchange here, for a UBT Hex transaction or whatever. It would be, they offer 4 different exchanges here, and their solution for it, and it finds the cheapest price, and they use something called a Chi token to help bring down the gas. Transactions on 1inch Exchange are up to 42% cheaper because of using the Chi gas token. So that allows the transactions to be cheaper, not so much cheaper, but it still does help, and it helps you. You get to choose between maximum return and lowest gas costs. And this is a DeFi aggregator, what they're talking about here. It compares all the different exchanges, and it automatically helps you find the cheapest price. Decentralized finance aggregators are growing in popularity in 2021 as the embryonic industry continues to expand. And that is absolutely true. We are in an embryonic phase in this industry. So if you're in now, you're in at the ground level. So you'll do well if you stick with it. Delphi digital analyst Ashwath Balakrishnan has observed that the year-to-date growth for DeFi aggregators puts the sector on track to dwarf 2020's figures. The researcher noted 1inch, Matcha, and Paraswap facilitated a total 9.3 billion of volume across 2020, but that as of February 16th, the 1inch exchange alone had recorded close to 10 billion in volume in just the first 46 days of 2021. That's insane. With liquidity being the lifeblood of decentralized finance markets, competition for collateral increases, and a market for aggregators to improve user experience has emerged. So now there's a bunch of competing aggregators, when last year the only one that I knew of that was basically dominated the market was 1inch here. But now you have some others. They just said Matcha and Paraswap. Then there's others down here. Kyber Network and Bancor. Kyber Network has been around for a minute, so is Bancor, but then there's others, Zappify and Zerion, and they kind of act as front pages of DeFi, so they put all your MetaMasks and stuff like that on one page and allow you to look at everything. Really great tools. I use Zerion, and it is an amazing app. I have several MetaMask wallets and things spread out all over different computers and stuff like that. And rather than having to click through all my different MetaMasks, I sit there and go to my Zerion app, and it's all right there, and it calculates profit and loss and averages and all that type of stuff for me, and I can even exchange using it. But see here, they talk about the competition now that is popping up: 1inch, Matcha, and Paraswap. Here's Matcha. It's a pretty clean interface. I just now opened this right before I started broadcasting to take a quick look, and it looks nice. I'll look into it. Kind of lets you explore different tokens, recently added, top gainers, yield farming. Let's see, search by token name, symbol, or address, or you can just explore and figure out. It has a pretty good menu here of tokens for you to choose from, and they're not all ERC20 tokens, which is pretty cool too. So so that's that. I don't know what I clicked on. And then there's Paraswap here. Apparently they just had an airdrop that I just missed between, I guess, February 9th and February 16th is when it was, because I checked that out. And I missed it, so sucks. I could have gotten 1,000 MLN if I would have just known. And I'm a sucker for an airdrop, so... But whatever, it is what it is. I'll explore this Paraswap DeFi Aggregator, this exchange. So, and check it out. I saw it on Chico Crypto a while back, and I just kind of put it on a shelf in the back of my head because I had other things to do. But I'll check out this one as well. So whenever I am trying to do things, like yesterday I was trying to get rid of my Hex token and buy some Unibright and Ocean token with it. Prices were trying to charge me like $115 worth of Ethereum for the trade. And I just had to kind of just time it and keep coming back and clicking and checking and checking and checking. I ended up spending about $25 for the transaction, which sucks, but it is what it is. But at least I didn't spend $115. If I would have known about Matcha and Paraswap, I would have probably checked these out as well. But I didn't. And so it's great to have a comparison tool whenever you're finding that prices are really high on Uniswap or on 1inch. Now I can go to Matcha, or I can go to Paraswap or Kyber Network or whatever, and just try to find the best rates or the best way to trade it. So yeah. All right, well, I think that pretty much does it. I have to get ready to go to work. It's not like I can take a shower because the water's still out, but yeah, I can at least pretend to take a shower. And, as long as we have imagination, life will be good, right? Yes, always try to look at the bright side of things. I am very fortunate that I even have a job that I can go down to and look at and be at and participate in and contribute back to the economy. That is important to get back to what George Gammon was saying. There are producers and non-producers in societies, and I don't want my living to be purely off speculation. I want it to be off of work as well to help contribute to the GDP. Anyway, you guys have a good day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Give me a thumbs up on the YouTuber thing and subscribe or whatever. You can check me out on library.tv and on Patreon as well, is where I've uploaded videos. So, all right, man. I'll talk to you later.